across the different, because we're streaming out to 5 different platforms, to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter / Periscope, and D Live. So sometimes it
Okay.
just takes like a little while for the signal to actually go through. Um, but yeah, we should basically just get started in a few seconds.
No problem.
Okie dokie. Cool. Maria, thank you very much for making time to actually come and talk to us, the community, about your insights. Having already gone through Fund Two, right? So before we actually dig into that, just for context, Fund what Cardano and Catalyst are, right? Just for those who are possibly tuning into this live, or watching this in the replay. Cardano is a cryptocurrency, and the cryptocurrency is called ADA. So Cardano is the machine, and ADA is the currency. And part of that currency, whenever each transaction takes place, a portion of that, the fees which are paid to the network, a portion of that goes into what we call the treasury. And from that treasury, we have the opportunity for the wider community to actually propose ideas and get funded directly, bit by bit, every 6 odd weeks, from this particular treasury. And that's what the Project Catalyst is about, right? And so right now we are just coming off of the last round, which was Fund 2, and Fund 3 is now beginning. So for those of you who are interested in this idea, go over to cardano.ideascale.com and yeah, create an account. And at the moment we have, I believe, 3 challenges going. And challenges basically just give like a context for community members to actually, propose ideas, right? And yeah, and then the idea is over 6 weeks, you'll be able to engage with the community, be able to get other people on board, in terms of different skill sets. So it doesn't really matter whether you're more from a marketing background or from a programming background or from an educational background, whatever background you're coming from. You'll find the community quite welcoming and ready to answer your questions, and also a whole bunch of different skill sets within the community of people who you can actually add onto your proposal, right? As you get feedback and so on. So with that said, right. Do you yeah, so Maria, community, awesome, outspoken in the best possible way, one of the lovely community members has is joining us today, Maria. Do you want to just sort of explain your relationship with the community, kind of thing, in your history?
Sure. My name is Maria Carmo. I am a Cardano ambassador, a Cardano a stake pool operator, and also a Catalyst proposer. And we just won in the Found 2 Lovelace Academy, and I am so honored to be here and to represent so many people. It's like, the joy you feel like hanging around with the smart guys in town is the feeling that I have.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose, yeah, contextually, yeah, I should have actually mentioned that, and thank you for mentioning it. Yeah, so Font 2, one of the reasons why we're actually here in conversation with Maria, as we were with James previously from Gimbal Labs, is yeah, because they were successful in getting funded, right? So Maria put forward a proposal, which is quite education centric, her along with others within the community, right? So there's a team as well behind it. Put forward the proposal, and went through the whole process, and yeah, the community ended up voting, and decided that yes, we believe out of 78 well, initially I think there were over 100 proposals, and
Yes.
then the ones which made it into voting were around 78. And out of those 78, only 11 actually, got voted to be fun. Well, no, excuse me, more projects. I think maybe around 15 or maybe more projects actually got voted to be funded. But because the funding was not adequate, they this round the funding amount actually increases, round round to round. But for this particular moment in time, there weren't enough funds to go around. But actually, some of the people who got funded this time around have decided to pitch in and actually fund another proposal. So all in all, there's actually, I believe, a total of 12 projects which are actually going to be part of Fund 2 in a way. So yeah, okay, cool. So that's that. So the idea here is to actually just look back at Fund 2 and learn from what Maria's experience with the Lovelace Academy has been, and yeah, just sort of get to understand what lessons we have learned. So we'll jump right into it. So the first point, the points are obviously right there, throughout the
Challenge.
middle. Yeah. So yeah, the first one is challenge. So yeah. So Maria, could you share with us what your thoughts on the challenge were, or like how you basically interpreted the challenge in the beginning, and if that changed at any point?
Look, I am a thriver and I thrive for a long time in life. And when I see this opportunity to be there, to be voted for the community, I ask myself, oh my God, how can I contribute? Can Maria program? I said, maybe not. Can I do something else? Maybe not. But then I came out with this proposal where I can contributing as editing and posting and helping and answer. And I just say it's the way to go. I could be sitting home around just complain about other proposing and other people, but I just choose to participate and to give it all, to give them my heart. I look for resonance with people, and I have found and meeting so amazing people in the community. Like, I have no words to describe.
Mm. To give some context, perhaps I should add this into my notes. Next time, remember to mention what the challenge actually is, because yeah. So yeah, the challenge to basically to give context to what Maria just shared there. The challenge for Fund 2 was basically how do we get more developers and entrepreneurs to build on Cardano within the next 6 months. So that's to give context. As Maria was saying, programming was not her skill set, etc., etc. Then she's like, okay, I can be able to edit and sort of do educational stuff, and so she sort of decided um, to focus on that, right? Focusing on strengths, right? Which I think, yeah, is quite an important thing to sort of to take away from there. All right, cool. So number two, ideation. How did you then develop, your initial idea behind Lovelace Academy?
I always love to empower people. When I say share the cake, I really mean it. I am hunting people down in the community looking for talents to contribute with Lovelace Academy. I want to give them the piece of the cake that we got from the community, and I don't know what to say. I feel so blessed. I feel the most blessed people in the entire community. I feel like, I don't know. The idea came from the inspiration of the Cardon Effect podcast. Was the most amazing point of power and voice and representation in the community. And I just thought, I think we should have more of this point of representation. We should have other people talking about it in different perspective, in different layers. Cardano can go very deep and can be very shallow. I don't know if you know what I mean.
No, no, I do. Yeah.
So I just thought I would so love to talk with normal people with normal day stuff, tell them that we have an option out, that we have a choice, we just need to learn and go on. But then I wasn't found the one where it was just something open. So I did the Women's Effect project. I would get funded, but unfortunately at this stage it was just for people that really got the passion, really got the love for Cardano, and we didn't get real aiders. So when it came to Found 2, there was a challenge, and the challenge is bringing the entrepreneurs and developers. And what's the language? In the moment I read that sentence came to my head, what are the strong points? And then I find out there's a Plutus, malware, and there is another language. Help me there.
What, Glow?
No, it's Plutus, malware, and it's Haskell,
Oh,
something
Haskell.
around it.
Yeah,
And I
Haskell, yeah.
said, okay, what can I contribute as educator? Because my background is education. How can I deliver value to the community they actually going to be placed to be delivered to them? And I come out with this proposal where I am a small piece of it, but my partners are the rest of the proposal and bring value to the community. In the beginning, we are delivering 25 episodes, but because we love the project so much and we want it to go on forever, we just say, okay, let's deliver more 25 episodes of news about Cardano. We are doing what we love. We're very motivated team, and I bring this passion to Catalyst. I bring this passion to my baby because Catalyst is our democracy system in the very early days. You know, when you have to watch over and to see, oh, don't fall this side, don't fall this side, let's look after you. It's what Catalyst is for me at the moment.
Yeah.
So I try to contribute to the Catalyst as a community democracy system, but I also try to bring value to the community. I don't want things handings over for not address the challenge of being teaching people. Suita is from India, and I am from Brazil. It's a very undeveloped countries in the world, but if they come around and if they listen, if they learn, imagine the future going to be ahead of these people. And this is what keeping my motivation. I am here for the masses, and I want they all in.
Awesome. That's brilliant. So, on ideation, just a quick question. Did the idea change, like it's significantly from the beginning slash the end? I mean, I mean, thank you for sharing the fund one into fund two, because I think that's an important transition to acknowledge. Taking your learnings from fund one into fund two. But within fund two itself, were there any particular changes, say, from the initial proposal to the final version?
It is from the first proposal to the second and fund two. We got a programmer, a professional trainer in the big industry out there. We brought him in and we say, look, we would like to do this, because in the beginning was me and Suita in Fund 1, and the Fund 3 to answer the challenge for the community and to deliver the value we think we are able to. We brought somebody else. I know sometimes people mistake me and say, oh, it's Girl Powers and this and that. No, it's everybody's power. It's everybody, and I'm representing everybody. I'm from everywhere. I want the people to get it. And it's why we bring Keith on, and I said, let's teach malware, Plutus, and let people go on with their lives. They get the beginning of the knowledge they need from us, and they just go in their journey themselves. It's how I see how I empower people through education. I am an educator. I love education. But to serve a Cardano, sometimes we have to go around challenges and around proposals to deliver the value we think we could deliver.
Okay, what you bring up a really good and important point that I want to highlight there. You mentioned Keith, right, who's a programmer. A lot of folks, I feel like one of the barriers in terms of proposals is trying to figure out, if they're not programmers themselves, how do they go about finding a program? Obviously, the things like the channel on Discord, etc. But could you share with us, your experience of how you ended up sort of arriving at that relationship?
Like, I am here as ambassador. I know no one. No one knows me, right? And then Suita come around and say, Maria, you're the first ambassador in Cardano history. Come on to our group. You're very welcome here. I didn't even know that means something to people. I didn't even know the value of it. So I came to the group, I met our people, they show my value, they show how I'm influence people, and I'm using all these as much positive as can be. So I came to Catalyst, the baby I love the most, and Sweeta was with me. But then the things got complicated because the challenge changed from Fund 1 from Fund 2. So I say, all right, let's bring somebody else and to this challenge. So I asked Sweeta, do you know someone you trust? Do you know someone you would trust with, excuse me, you trust with your life? And then she said, Keith. Keith is very competent. He's an experienced trainer. He will do add value to our proposal. And then Keith came on and we got introduced, and then we liked to work with each other. We synchronized with each other, the entire team. Is how I met him. I didn't have to go out there in the jungle and,
Yeah.
under every single rock. He did that job for me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Point number three: metrics. This is a tricky one. At least I found it tricky in terms of trying to figure out like what's the best metric, because metrics help the community, I suppose, like people who are looking at your proposal, to figure out, okay, how do we measure if this thing is becoming successful? So how did you go about how did you arrive at your metrics? How did you go about thinking about this?
Okay, so I would tell from the perspective of someone that already have a channel. I have my channel 369. This is the number magic for Tesla. And doing this channel in Portuguese is very small. We have under 400 followers, but I learn a lot about YouTube. You know that YouTube have loads of crazy numbers and stuff, and you needed to go through the journey to learn it. So I said, I learn it. So I add the editing bit of it, and I added the other guys to the proposal. So I said, let's deliver to the community. Let's show them how many followers we have, how many students we have, how many people. We're going to try to make competition and make things interesting. So we want to keep track of everyone that come on and ask. I want to see the comments. I want to see people participating. And because I have a little bit of metrics from my own channel, I said, if we do a channel from the proposal of the challenge 2, we also can deliver the same metrics. It's like guys or boys that are watching our content. How is their age? What's their location? So in the next phones in the future, people could use these metrics to develop better channels or better proposal or whatever it is.
That's a really good answer. Yeah, because yeah, YouTube metrics or analytics, like they're quite like as you said, like boy, girl, device, location, like they give you quite a lot in terms of understanding who's actually interacting with your content. Cool. So number four, budget. How did you arrive at setting out your budget?
Okay, I work cleaning toilets for 3 hours a day for many years. And then in my immigrant head, I have this idea how I would be happy working, doing for something that I love, that I'm going to be content. So I add a little bit on it from the salary I already on, and I make the proposal because what we are going to do needed to have quality, good content, and the people have already to know what they are talking about. So I couldn't go for the minimum wage. I couldn't do it with Sweeta. I couldn't do it with Keith, and I couldn't do it with me because I knew we are delivering value. So what I did, I went for the salary $20 an hour. I wanted to be as fair as I possibly could. Some people tell me go to 30s and go to the 40s. Maybe I should. But in this moment in time, I wanted to be fair. I want the people look to my proposal and say, look, The entire proposal sounds fair to me, and I think they can deliver the job. Is what I thought about at the time. I wanted to be fair, and I want more fund left to other people. I don't even care what if it was first place, second place, or third place. All that I want is that funds would left to other people to get funded because we all deserve opportunity. Is all that I care about.
That's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, going from the salary. So I'm assuming that the salary was your biggest sort of line item in terms of the budget, and that's why that was the key thing that led. Okay. Cool.
Exactly, because that camera doesn't deliver any value, computers doesn't deliver any value, people deliver the value.
Yeah.
And I want my team to be motivated enough to say, this is my best, this is an hour tutorial, but you're going to get the best of it, is what I want. I want to motivate people, so I couldn't do it with my teammates. I needed to be motivated, and I feel so motivated that our proposal gets voted anyway. Thank you very much for you that vote for Lovelace Academy. Just give you a shout out.
Awesome. Okay. Right. So number 5, communication. How did you go about communication?
When you say communication, what do you mean communication exactly?
Communication. Okay, so like you have a proposal. How did you like go about telling people what the value, what you're up to, basically? So like, in a way, this is related to the next point, which is community, right? Because obviously with communication, you've got community, etc. But yeah, so from a communication standpoint, it's like, say, you can answer it from, a bunch of different perspectives. So like, did you have a particular strategy, a particular platform, were you creating, were you doing like sort of like a Twitter specific thing, or were you, did you have someone on your team who was specific, focusing on communication? Yeah, like, yeah, so that's what I mean, if that's clear, right?
So I'm gonna tell you something that probably will sound very maybe weird and maybe magical. Everything comes out of my head, and I came to the journey and say, I need you to tell about Lovelace Academy to everybody. And I got on in every single channel of the community. Any time of the day, any day of the week, I was there. I was telling people that we want to inspire and we motivate people. Sometimes Keith was with us and Suita was with us, but because they have full-time jobs, they couldn't be with me in every single channel. But I was made a commitment to be there. Anyone who want to talk to me, I wouldn't care your size, I wouldn't care how many subscribers you have, I wouldn't care about anything. I would talk to you, I would give attention and my time. Because at a moment in time, give people time is the most important thing. You have to agree with me. We are so busy. I'm so busy. You have no idea. At the beginning of the journey, I was unemployed, and then I got a full-time job now. So the things got a little bit restricted to me. But at the time I was home, I was doing like working Cardano 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I would talk to anyone and do whatever it takes. Because in my understanding where I came from, and has no much there in the suburbs of the city of São Paulo. This would be the best chance I would get to get the word out there. And all I did it all. I talk from my heart, I talk from my consciousness. And I do mean when I say, let's share the cake. This is a wealthy community. Let's do it together. And what I do with my communication, I've been in every single meeting of a catalyst. I have been in the groups. I have participation. I ask questions on catalyst. If you have a proposal there, you want me to ask questions to make your proposal better, or may give you tips, just mark me, tag me, and I'll be there. Is my contribution to the community? Is I'm giving back the trust they give to Lovelace Academy.
Cool. That's a good answer. So now, as I said, the next one, number 6, is community. So, yeah, how did you go? In addition to, all that you just covered in terms of communication, is there anything specific that you sort of thought about, yeah, with regards to building your community.
Okay, what happened is I'm gonna give some context. In the beginning of Catalyst Fund 2, we have a war against podcasts because our best podcasts in the community went for loads of money. I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying that's right. Because of it, it creates a war around it. So what's happened is, or you go in the war in a negative way, or you make it out and do the positive way. And I try to do the positive way, to go and show how podcasts are important, how communication is important, how we need the points of voice to different people, not just for me. Maria Carmen is all about education, but there is people about the technology, there is people about other stuff, and we need channels in the community that show all our layers, that show all the different people we are. You know, so I went to the community, I cried my heart out, and somehow I got through some hearts. They voted for my proposal. The amount of votes up was way more than the votes down, and when I saw that, I just cry of joy. I cry of out absolute joy. I felt the most moment I felt recognized in life was when I saw the voting results. It was like the up for me. I know I have interviewed Charles. I don't know if you see the interview. It's a really cool interview. He gives so much of his personal aspect of life out. This was a very good moment in life. But then when I got funded in Fund 2, I say, oh my God, let's do as the best as we can. And I bring the same passion as before in Fund 1 and bring to Fund 2. And I want to be accountable. If the community develop a system, say, Maria, you need to follow this to be accountable to our community. I'm happy to follow the model. I'm not here to dictate anything. I'm here to go with you and to serve you as best I possibly can.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, quite moving. Like, I suppose it touches on, I feel like just the beginnings of how life changing all of this can actually be. Right. So, I almost kind of teared there actually for a moment. Number seven, resources. Um, any key resources that you'd recommend that you found particularly useful?
Um, I have to give you a little bit of more context there.
Please.
I
Yeah.
was in Found One and I was upset with the answer I was getting in the channels of the community. I was upset because I think in our community should never have dictatorship what tell people that should do what they shouldn't do. People have to do their own stuff and be free. And I get frustrated. And someone in the community say, Maria, come on around. I want to have you in my channel. Cry your eyes out. And I was there talking about my experience as an ambassador and what I was doing. I was motivating people, bring people in, and I don't want to respect anybody. I just want to be in the early stages of these people that are coming in from the beginning. And it's just changed my life. And when it's changed my life, I understand the power of a podcast is more than you can ever imagine. I gone for that one. Is why my proposal is a podcast, because I felt in real how is the power to have a voice, to talk to people the things that are important to you. And some people resonate with you, some people don't, and this is fine. But as soon as we have this channel of freedom to talk.
Cool. So, would you say that that's basically like other community members and creating an environment that is one that is not basically about censorship, basically? Does that make sense?
Well, what I'm saying is
The resource, yeah.
let's create the community as with freedom of speech and with freedom of what people can presenting what they are here for.
Yeah.
Not saying, oh, I have no time for you now. My channel is about something else and you are not welcome here. This is the worst answer someone of our community could ever receive. I don't know if you receive any, but I receive many.
Oh, I have. I have. But yeah, no, I completely agree. So the resource is basically the community itself, which is a brilliant answer. I really love that. Okay, so number 8, practices. Are there any best practices that you arrived at during your experience?
I try to be transparent with people. I have a budget out there. I say to people, look, I need the 3 cameras. I want these programs. I want these apps and what I am all about. I just don't come to the community and say, look, guys, I want $12,000. Please just deliver it to me and just walk away. I was working my proposal very intensely for 2 full months. Every time, the day or the night, you put a question there, I will be right up to you. I will answer you. The budget was all fair. Some people went to all the 15K. We are 3 in the team, and we went to 12K because what we thought was fair. We all about fairness, and I think the message got out there to people. Because in some kind of way, I kind of feel to be an underdog, the unknowing in the community, and then I was again the only podcast to be founded, and I feel the lucky guy in town. I'm happy. I'm having fun. And I hope I can do something really good with it.
Yeah, it's funny. Before we went live, we actually spoke about, the only podcast to be funded, and it was, as you said, it was the underdog, and the others who have a huge, much larger following, and I think what I mentioned here, which I think is important to mention now that we're live, is that it's the intention and the motives I think are fundamentally different, and I think that is a key why the Lovelace Academy as a podcast got funded, and the others who are more prominent have much larger following did not. So
Doesn't show to you how wise our community.
yeah,
We think
I
they
think
go in one way, and then when the vote comes out and the results comes out, you see they went to the completely other way. Is why I motivate people to put the proposal on a day scale, to come to talk to us, because it's not about one person, it's about a community intelligence, if you know what I mean.
yeah, 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 like a group. Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, community intelligence. Okay, so number 9. Yeah, so perspective. Looking back, what would you wish you knew at the start of Fund 2?
I wish I know on phone too. I wish us to be way more patient because we went a little bit later here and there. We went in some detours,
Yeah.
but we got back on track. So I wish I could just see that I need way more patience than I already have. I don't want to sit around and be negative and then criticize other people's proposal when I don't have a proposal myself. I want to keep it all positive.
Yeah.
Some people do loads of work. They're having been amazing, like Steve, like Thevo, like yourself and Andre and James and all these people. And some people don't. They just don't like the challenge, or they feel afraid, but they sit around just complaining. And I want to say to these people, come and give us some positive feedbacks to us. We are dying to listen to it because we want to thrive. I want to thrive. I don't want to sit in the corners and being the weird one. I want people reach me out and say, Maria,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
let's do it better, let's help each other. And I have receiving it from the community. Like in the first day when the results come off, I spent 3 hours in social media thanking people, and I do take the time and I do answer them individually, because if someone took the time to register, to get the QR code and to vote, I own them some part of my time to say thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, it's weird thinking back. Like I remember, seeing you on Twitter, like answering every single congratulation. I was like, wow, this is insane. This is dedication. Yeah, and just a quick aside of the list of people, because I just want to um, be cognizant. You wanted to acknowledge a few, a few people. I don't know whether you want to do that at the end or because you just listed a bunch of names there, and I think one of the names which you mentioned before we went live was Danny. And just in case we don't get to, come back to them, I just wanted to kind of quickly throw that in there.
Guy, we have a specialist in every single area. We have a specialist in tweet, we have a specialist in spreadsheet, we have a specialist in reports, we have a specialist in every single area. And
Yeah.
Danny is the one from spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he pours
It's
data
genius.
on you all day long.
Yeah.
And also, I also told before Tevo and Steve and Mercy and all these people, Bonnie,
Yuta.
like they deliver so much of themselves to the community. I just wish if you are listening to it, to this episode, look up these people, what they are up to. They are delivering the best they possibly can to Catalyst projects and to the Cardano community. I know Maria Carmen is out there everywhere, but there is way more amazing people here delivering the best they can. And
Hmm.
you know, Danny, it's no stopping. It's like AI, artificial intelligence, like.
Exactly. Da, 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 da. There's no stopping it. Okay, so the last point, we've actually managed to keep to a really good time. This is very surprising. So the last point, prospects. Number 10, prospects. What lasting difference do you hope to have made in 1 or 2 or 3 years' time? Looking back.
I'm gonna talk to you about the perspective of an educator. If I am in a classroom and I'm teaching the normal subjects of normal education classroom, I will expect to see results in 10 years' time. Maybe, if it's a very good student, 5 years' time. So when I'm sitting here and talk with all these people, I'm really expecting people that has no chance where they stand, but they're gonna take this chance and they will do amazing. They're gonna come to Cardano, they will learn with us, and they will maybe next fund in the future saying to people, I learned it from Lovelace Academy. There was my beginning. When I listen to people saying that, I will know I deliver value. The metric is important. I'm gonna deliver it to you, as I said in the beginning. I'm gonna deliver it to you, but the meaning of what we are doing about education and how I love education gonna be in 3 or 4 years time, if you know what I mean. Because it's what the times it takes to transform people to adults and transform adults and mature adults, and they're gonna come around and say, look, start back then, found the two with Lovelace Academy, and here I am. This moment in time will be priceless because we are gonna on and on and on. Maybe I'm not here in found three. Three are gonna be here. Maybe I'm not found here in found 4 or 5, but the lessons and the learning and the process and the artificial intelligence, the community intelligence will keep here with us, with people that resonate with other people, people that are looking to do better in life. Is all I'm trying to do. I don't want anything about from anyone. I just want to do good in life, and I want to deliver the value I promised to you.
Wow. Okay, cool. That was really, really awesome. Yeah, I agree. This point is really important, like understanding time. The point that I actually wanted to add to what you just said just there is what you just said is the spirit of the Cardano community, right? If you think of how the code has actually been developed, right? It took like 3, 4, 5 years to actually, to deploy, to develop the algorithm, which is a consensus algorithm behind the blockchain, because we took the first principles approach, right? Understanding that, it's not, going to happen overnight. We need to really think of things, from a basic level and understand that it will take, a few years before we actually get to something and, build a solid house, build a house on solid foundations, right? And I feel, like, a an analogy or a good reference here is the community member. I forget which country he was in, but there's this community member who planted a tree, in memory, or sort of, for the community.
Was Vasio
That's it.
ambassador?
Yeah, exactly. What country is he in?
I have no idea what country he is, but the language is absolutely different. Like I have no idea, but I know he.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, and this happened like a few years ago. So, somewhere, I think, I don't know, it might be Russia or Romania, or I don't know, I'm not sure. It was sort of, it was a European country, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
And yeah, so this to me represents this idea, right, of understanding that, we are not going to be sitting in the shade of the trees that we plant today. In the same way as you said, the people who you're going to be educating today, we're not really gonna, even be able to know exactly, oh, hey, you made a difference in my life. It's somewhat, in a way, selfless, and yeah, it will take a while to actually, sort of propagate and actually, become realized. But, as you said, the meaning, right? I really loved how you just broke all that down, and, it's really, really sort of super lovely. So, anyway, I'm not going to carry on any longer with that. I just want to sort of bring this to an end. But before I do, yeah, I just want to thank you for your time, and sort of give you the opportunity to sort of say anything else that you want to say in closing.
I just would thank you from the bottom of my heart, the entire community. I have no words to describe my emotion when this project got funded. It means the words to me. It was the most intense work I have done for the community or in life. And I'll give my best to it to work. And I'm pretty sure my team is motivated to give it all as well. And if you want to send me some love, my stake pool is cards. It's called Cardanistas. We are a stake pool from Brazil who supports education. We have few planning in mind. Unfortunately, we can't do it now because of COVID and maybe because the price of ADA. But short soon we'll be motivating people to be learning to go in their journey. Could be musical education, could be formal education, could be support education. We are all about education, it's just my message to the community.
Cool. Maria Carmel, thank you very, very much.
You are very welcome, and I'm very happy to hang around with you guys.